premise one. No, you explain the premises, and then you can say, in conclusion, this is the quadrilaterality whatever argument. Okay?
It's the what?
Exactly. So,
You didn't even say
explain.
it right.
It doesn't matter if I didn't say it right. You get what I was trying to say. So,
Okay.
explain the properties of why this is an argument to you. Okay?
Okay. So cosmological argument basically talks about, like, for example, so, like, look at my house. Somebody had to make my house for and it's the same thing with the universe. Something had to create the universe, because without a cause, like,
Without the universe being created, nobody
yeah,
would be alive.
yeah, I needed the cause for it to be created, right? So basically, that's the
Yeah.
argument. And the metaphysical argument is basically where if somebody says who created God, and that's basically what it talks about, how God is outside of time and God is literally the beginning and the end. So yeah,
So, I don't understand how would that be an argument
The
then.
Bible? Do you read the Bible?
that is wait.
Yes,
What do you
I
mean?
read the Bible. So,
Yeah. So what?
claiming that God is this, that doesn't solidify any type of argument, okay? So, let me just break it down for you.
You can't refute that. So how are you gonna?
No, I am. Watch me do it. Watch me do it. Watch me do it.
Okay, do it.
Awesome. So, claiming that the universe had to be created, that doesn't mean it's who created it, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't, just because we don't have the answer for the cause of what happened prior to the Big Bang, that doesn't mean the answer has to be God. That doesn't mean the answer is God, because there's no factual evidence to back that up. So when you don't have any factual evidence, you don't still claim that is the evidence just from that alone. So, no, what I need is something that cannot be refuted. For example, the sun. I can't go against. Hold on. I cannot go against the sun. I cannot claim it's something different. I can't claim that it's the moon, because that wouldn't be a fact, okay? And that wouldn't change the facts of what the sun is.
Wait, just 1 second. Okay, so wait, you didn't even refute my claim earlier. What are you talking about? What did you said because the Big Bang happened doesn't mean that God happened. Can you explain how that didn't happen because of God?
Okay, so what I said as well along the lines that you seem to forgot, which is the key part, is just because we do not have any evidence of what happened prior to the Big Bang, that doesn't mean God would be the answer, because we don't have any evidence. I know what it is. I know what it is.
You know what it is, then it's possible.
If we think about it, here we go all the way back in time. If people weren't created, then really nothing in the universe would be made.
Okay, no one is saying that nothing has happened. No one's saying that. People have different reasons of what happened, but no one's saying that nothing happened, because that will make no sense.
Yeah, but midnight day. Can you please answer my question? Right. So, if the Big Bang didn't happen, can you explain how it happened?
It's a hot, dense point between space and time, and it got compressed, and then the rapid expansion. Yeah.
Okay, the big question is, the big thing is, do you believe in God?
Wait, what?
No.
Wait, Snitch, what are you talking about? Okay, but what's it called? So space time equal what?
Mr. Noble. Mr. Noble. Listen. Go look it up yourself. Go look it up yourself, because I don't think both of you guys know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, okay?
Midnight, I have a question.
Goodbye. It's pretty sad that you're young and so far gone at being so young. That's a shame. That's a shame. Hello.
Are you gonna add other people?
Why would I ask in your hand?
I mean, what makes you think? Please explain.
What'd you say?
What makes you think that God isn't real?
Because it's not a fact.
So you existing isn't a fact? So
it is a fact.
Me here making claims that you cannot prove. That was very low tier.
You never asked me to prove nothing to you. You just asked me why I don't think that God exists.
Yeah,
That's all you asked me.
He gave you points about the claim that you made, which doesn't add up.
No, that was his claim, and I was refuting it.
Which you then refuted because you just proved his point.
How did I prove it? Did you even know what he was talking about?
Well, according to what you were saying, obviously, is that...
What did he say? What did he say?
No, I'm talking about what you said.
No, I want to understand that you understood what he said before you go on what I said, because I know what I said, so you don't have to tell me.
You brought up the point about the Big Bang. What created the Big Bang? What did it before it?
No, he didn't ask me none of that. He asked, what is the Big Bang? I was the one who claimed. I was the one who were saying that just because we don't have any answers, that doesn't mean the answer would be God. That's what I said.
Do you have the proof that it's not God? Because according to most scientists,
there is no proof.
People who used to be atheists literally believed in it. So
there's no proof.
This defeats there's no point. So Nikola Tesla did not
No, there's no proof.
Oh, really? No
yes.
proof.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. So how can you create a universe without nothing? Please.
Okay, so you're explaining me what's something that I don't believe in. So how am I going to explain how it was done through something I don't believe in?
Well, how are you going to?
What kind of question is that?
If you can't prove that?
I don't believe in God. So why are you asking questions to me like I would believe in something like that? So obviously I don't believe in it. So stop asking me questions.
If you make a debate,
you don't even know where you are. You don't know where you are. You don't even know what is being said. You don't know how to understand it. And you don't even care to understand it because you're too focused on sticking out your tongue and sounding uneducated.
You literally made this topic to debate. Like, if you're not going to open your mind and try to understand what people are saying, then you
exactly.
can't. So, like,
exactly.
Then get off the game. Then get
it's
off
same
the
for the people who join. Same for the people who join. Same for the people who joined.
Instead of trying to be ignorant and try to understand.
How am I ignorant?
Low IQ, because you're not listening to what people are saying at all. Why would you?
They're not saying something that they're claiming something I've said, which I didn't say that.
That sounds dumb.
And you're getting banned. Goodbye. Goodbye. Raise your hand besides the two people if you'd like to come up. If so, then we're going to have to wait. Goodbye. You don't know how to debate. You literally came up here claiming that someone else said this, right? And that's not even what they said. And then you thought that was a got you moment when it really wasn't. Because you don't even know what's going on. So if you don't even know what you're talking about, why would I even have a conversation with you? And how are you going to ask me about the Big Bang, but you don't even know what the Big Bang is? And you're saying, oh, I'm wrong. You don't even know what it is. So we're not arguing with those kind of people, because it's a waste of time. And space. Do you want to unmute? You're a gamer? Do you want to unmute? Are scholars just enough evidence to take? Riddle me that. Do scholars go through scientific evidence?
Hey, what's good?
Hello.
Hey, what's good? So, do you know what created us?
Your mom and dad, and my mom and dad, and so on and so forth. But the first thing that existed was Luca. Do you want me to tell you about Luca?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So Luca means the last universal common ancestor. And it basically was similar to a bacteria that started in the ocean. And it was the first known living organism on this planet Earth. And that's why everyone is related to everything. And everyone shares DNA. Huh?
What created that organism?
Nobody knows about that yet because Luca is like over 1 billion years old.
So then you do not know if God is real or not. Then, if you do not know what is simply created from something like that first, then we don't know. The only thing about religion...
No. Hold on, let me stop you right there. I do know that it's not God. Okay.
Do you now? Okay, but
yes, I do.
Okay, hold on. But then, how come you don't know what created the very first, parasite or barnacle? If you know that God
none of that. Okay, so just because I don't know, that doesn't mean we're never going to know. Okay? So just because we can't go way back to 1 billion years ago on this planet, that doesn't mean that there's the only answer to that would be God. Because that is not a fill in the blank a situation. You literally have zero evidence to prove besides your belief, and that is not what people go off of belief. They go off of substantial, factual evidence that you cannot refute. So you cannot tell me...
But there is no, simple, specification of any type of evidence of the first thing being created by a parasite. There's no evidence for that either.
There is plenty of evidence. Have you heard about this before? Have you heard about this before?
They said that they do not know what has been created from it.
Listen, Gizman, all I want to say is, have you heard about Luca before?
No, I have not.
So how are you going to tell me that there's no evidence for something that you just found out? What kind of stuff is that?
Because I looked it up. I just looked it up.
And what does it say?
Hold on. It says that there's no specification, whatever it is, that there's actually been a creation of a human being a particle. There's no specific.
That's not what that says. That is not what you typed. That has nothing to do with Luca. That question had nothing to do with Luca. So I want you to tell me, this is what I want you to type. I want you to type, is there any scientific proof of Luca, which is Luca?
Okay.
Is there any scientific proof of Luca? And then you have it, and then you'll have it right in front of you.
Hey, you can calm it down a little bit. I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what it says specifically. Okay. While there is no evidence, it says it right here. While there is no evidence that Luca can be an actual factual thing, the only reason it has been called Luca was because people have actually done scientific, and there's not any type of known proof because it's still being biologically still science.
That is not what it says, bro. You're a liar. I'm about to cut you out right now. You're a dirty liar. You're a dirty liar. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again. Read it again. Oh, I got banned. That's a dirty liar. What do you mean there's still scientific? There has to be, which it is. So let me read it to you right now. Give me a second. Yes, there is overwhelming scientific proof for the last common ancestor, Luca, which is established not by the physical fossils, but the formal statistical testing and the shared biological blueprint of all living organisms. If all life evolved independently, organisms would utilize completely different molecules, mechanisms, instead of everything from humans and redwood trees to deep in the ocean. Bacteria share identical fundamental biology, serving as an undeniable genetic signature of a single common origin. The existence of Luca is proven by universal biological traits shared across all three domains of bacteria, archaeotes, and eukaryotes. So, period. He made that shit up. He made that shit up. They made it fuck up. So we're gonna no. Wait.
Oh, what's up? Oh, Dea. Midnight Dea.
Hi.
What's up?
Everything in life. Everything in life.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I don't believe in God, right? Is that what you're here for?
Yeah, like what's your evidence behind the claim?
Oh, okay. So the evidence is scientifical, observable, and of course mine.
Yeah, so go ahead and explain what it is.
Okay, so my five senses is a good one. I haven't determined God throughout my five senses, and throughout my five senses, only my five senses, I've determined everything I know today. So if I can't have an out-of-body experience and experience a single thing. So that, when it came to God, it was a 0. Then the scientific evidence, there is multiple scientific evidence that refutes every type of religious text that's claimed the beginning of the world or what to expect, and the scientific evidence has refuted, and there hasn't been a single scientific evidence that has proved it in any way possible. And then observing, right, through, this can be like also me, observing, and it can't be no God. It literally cannot be. There's so much wrong stuff that's going on that can never be explained through it. Like when you ask a question, they have no answer for it, and it's ridiculous. Period.
Okay, so the problem with your first, I'll talk about all three of them. The problem with your senses one is that we can't detect many things by our senses, right? So I couldn't explain how the Big Bang happened through my five senses. I couldn't explain how.
Yes, you can.
No, again, through my five senses, right? You argued your five senses, I'm arguing my five senses, right? So again, first of all, that's subjective. That's subjective to begin with,
it
right?
is.
Because my five senses, exactly, that's why. First of all, that's just why it's wrong, because your five senses are subjective. And like I said, I can't explain how the Big Bang happened through my five senses. I can't explain how oxygen particles react through my five senses. I also can't explain how tidal waves react. Does that mean tidal waves don't react with other tidal waves? No. Does that mean oxygen particles don't react with other oxygen particles? No. Does that mean the Big Bang didn't happen? No. That's just because I can't explain it through my five senses, because it's subjective and I haven't reached that experience level yet.
So again, I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm saying that I would have no idea. Right?
Okay, so still that doesn't refute God. All right, so you just defeated your own first point. So that's
no, fine. It would be I have no consciousness of such a God, right? So it wouldn't even be in my mind.
All right. So
but that's why I uphold other different evidence.
So you not experience something doesn't mean it's not true. So
it
for
would
example,
to me.
I haven't experienced a car crash before, but that doesn't mean car crashes don't occur. So again, just because you haven't experienced something can't negate it out of reality.
But these questions can be asked. These questions could be asked to literally any religious person, and they would deny it as well. So it's not just me. I would ask the same question to whoever's religious, and they will also say no. So them saying no would just be the same reason that they would have no type of awareness of God, because they wouldn't determine it through their five senses. Then I would ask, how do you determine God?
Yeah, through philosophy, right? And let's say metaphysics.
That would be through your five senses.
What?
So I'm not talking about five senses that you cannot do. It's like you can reach items, you can touch items, you can possibly in the future could achieve whatever thing that needs to be achieved to see that thing or hear that thing. So that would be
nothing to do with your five senses. I'm sorry. You know what meta means in Latin? It literally means beyond. So beyond, and then we have physics. Beyond physics.
Beyond
our five
what?
Senses all rely on what?
Beyond what though?
Okay, can you even name what our five senses are?
I'm not saying that our five senses could do that, obviously. But I'm saying like you claim like that was a reason to determine God. So then I would ask you, then beyond what? Like why are you classifying it beyond? Like what do you mean by beyond?
Oh my gosh, Midnight. All I'm trying to prove is that metaphysics, the whole point of it is that it goes beyond our five senses. And we don't use our five senses to prove everything. We can't use our five senses to prove.
All right, so that is physically, mentally, yes, you can.
Physics.
Listen.
No.
Listen, you're just looking at it through one lens. right? You're not looking at the 5 different lenses, okay?
Okay, well, define what 5 senses are to you.
To me, no. Overall, you're hearing.
If you can't define your own terms,
relax.
Can't have a structured argument.
You act like this is just a me type of thing. 5 senses isn't just me. You have it. Everyone in the chat has it. Okay. So when you say, "What are your 5 senses?" It's not just a me thing. If I can ask the question to other people, they would have the same thing I got. So relax. So the 5 senses is your sight, your hearing, taste, smell, and touch, right? Okay. So how on earth are you going to determine any kind of logic without using your 5 senses to even make an outcome of it? How in the world you're going to do that?
There's a difference between utilizing our 5 senses to prove something, utilizing our 5 senses to prove something, and proving something through our 5 senses. So that's a major discrepancy in your logic there. We don't prove it through our 5 senses, but we use our 5 senses to orchestrate how we're proving it. So
to other people.
Your logic is just flawed again.
To other people, correct?
What? No,
you just
other people.
Okay, so again, other people. So the reason why I claim that, which it was 3 other things that you yet to get to the other 2s, was because of me, right? Because that's what it comes down to, because you're not in my body. So overall, I would be the judge of what I believe in. So of course this will work for me, and it can also work to you as well. My 5 senses argument. I don't understand how I wouldn't be able to use what I feel is necessary in my own body. Why wouldn't I?
So your 5 senses only make sense to you?
No, it can make sense, and the same questions could be applied to you, and you, because everyone has 5 senses. Everyone has it. Right. So again, I would ask the same question. Okay?
Maya, let's just go to your second argument, because I don't think we're getting anywhere here, and I just don't think you understand what 5 senses are.
Right, because you think that logic can be achieved outside a beyond aspect of the 5 senses. Human beings made up the forms of logic, every logic we made up to cope. So I find it hard for you to think this is logic just exists outside. You think that logic exists outside of a human grand scope of things, which is not true.
Yeah, it does. No, logic does exist outside
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
It does not. It does not.
You are genuinely the most low IQ. Okay, you know what?
All right, so and you're generally like just so you're generally so weird for thinking that.
Logic.
No, let me say an insult to you in front of your face. You are generally so weird for thinking that logic, something that only humans can get a grasp of, isn't made by human beings. That's generally the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Logic exists.
No, they can't. No, they cannot.
Oh my gosh.
No.
My gosh, Dea. So
yeah, I know. Crazy, right?
Dea. If every human gets wiped off of the face of the earth, does the law of non-contradiction still exist? Or do you even know what the law of non-contradiction is?
Okay, but who would uphold it?
No, again, it doesn't matter who upholds it.
It would, though, because that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Who would uphold this sense of logic? No animal besides human being. So if all human beings would be extinct, nobody. No, they don't. They don't. They apply by instinct. They apply by instinct. They don't go off of logic. They go off of their instincts. What are you talking about?
Gosh.
I know, so crazy. My cat doesn't follow any kind of logic.
Please define logic. Please define logic.
A human-made concept to cope. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I said abide and not apply.
I don't care what you said. You just asked me.
Everything we can conceive of, everything we've ever known of, abides by logic, regardless of your opinion. Literally, if you don't trust me,
really care.
Search this up. Search this up anywhere you want. Go to ChatGPT, go to Google, go to Safari,
give me what I need to search up. Give me the exact thing to search up.
Any search engine ever. And
but tell me what to say.
Does everything abide by logic?
Okay, well.
Oh, I genuinely can't believe you have to search this up. Wow.
This is what it says to me. No, everything besides humans do not abide by logic because logic is a human construct system used to evaluate statements, not physical force that gardens reality. Exactly my point. There's a difference between nature and human thoughts. Search it up. This is what I searched up. This is the exact thing I searched up. Does everything besides humans abide by logic? And then you got it right there. But you're making me sound like I'm just a literal, but you're not making me sound like that. This is what you're trying to do.
So, again, your problem here is that you assume, first of all, that it's solely human concept, which is still a philosophical debate. Sure, we can get into this, but I don't think you even understand the basics of philosophy because, first of all, you couldn't even define what logic was.
I'm moving on. I didn't. I already defined it. You asked me to search up does it abide, not the definition, okay? So there, I searched up what you asked me to, and it literally says no. So we're going to move on.
I'll search it up too.
Okay, go.
Where logic, okay, so let's go by AI now if you want to. Where logic rules. So under your first text you saw, where logic rules, the physical world. Do you exist outside the physical world?
Okay, that is a different kind of logic.
Do you exist outside the physical world?
No, not currently.
Oh, so where logic rules in the same AI you looked up. I'll even paste this in chat. I'll paste this in chat. This is literally what the AI
What was
says.
the question? What was the question though?
Oh my gosh, I said, do you exist inside the physical world?
How does that have to do with logic?
Do you exist inside the physical world?
I just said no, but again,
okay, so the AI says this. The physical world, where logic rules, in the big subtitle above this. The physical world. Alright, so again, if you exist inside the physical world, you abide by logic. So the AI you just claimed that defeats my logic actually really defeats yours.
You did not say logic when you typed that.
Let me finish speaking. You go to your AI and tell me with a straight face it doesn't say that right under that AI overview you got.
Says what?
So when you searched up, does everything abide by logic? An AI overview popped up.
No, I said beside.
Huh?
I said, does everything besides humans abide by logic? Did you type that? You told me to type that.
I'll type that. Sure, I'll type that. I never said besides humans. But that's a nonsense.
You said abide. You didn't mention abide when you claimed that's what you typed.
Sure, let's go to here. Under it. Okay, under it. It still says the natural world and non-human entities follow physical laws and causal rules, which humans use to describe them as logic.
It says, you mean physical laws versus logical laws? Is that what you mean? Because none of what you're saying is under this.
Physical world. If you exist inside the physical world, you abide by logic, and even the AI says that.
Okay, but who am I? Am I a dog?
What?
I'm a human, so of course a logic would apply to me because I'm the only species to use it. So when you ask whatever what you are asking, a kind of logic that will only be applied to me, a human, of course, is going to say yes. But that's not the question you asked me, okay? Logic is a human-made construct, like religion, like wearing makeup, like putting on clothes. Those are something that only human beings do. So if humans would go extinct, none of those things would be relevant anymore, and none of those things would be done.
No, that's not true. Again,
it's 100% true.
It literally says in that same AI, in the same AI,
you're asking something.
It says nature and physics. Oh my gosh! It says nature and physics abide by logic. Do we exist inside nature?
For who?
Exist inside nature and physics?
For who? For who? You're not asking for who. You're just stating it. So when you ask Google that question, it thinks that you're only referencing humans because you're the only one. Humans are only able to ask Google questions. So you're not asking it out of the grand scope of things, which are not just humans. So this is what you need to ask, okay? Ask whatever you need to ask, and then it say, does it apply to anything else besides humans? And it's going to say no. I don't know why you can't do that.
Okay,
can you do that? Can you do that?
Like I said, can we all agree that we exist inside the physical world?
We are humans. A logic is going to apply to me and you because we're the only ones who could follow it. So when you ask me the same question, it's not going to give a different answer, okay? The point was that you claim that logic was a way for you to determine God's existence. Is that what you wanted to go with?
You can determine its existence, or you can't rule out one's existence or God's existence, or completely. You can't prove it or disprove it using logic, nor can you prove or disprove it using science or whatnot. So I don't get your point.
I wasn't the one who brought up logic, though. So that's why I was trying to ask you,
Again,
what do you mean by it?
We abide by logic. I don't get... If anyone in the chat can explain how we don't abide by logic.
I'm not denying that. I just said human beings are the only ones. It's a human-made construct, so that would include me and you.
Animals abide by logic, too.
No, they don't. Okay, give me a kind of logic.
So the law of non-contradiction. X cannot be both P and not P at the same time. So an animal.
So give me
an animal cannot be both walking and still at the same time. Does it abide by the law of non-contradiction?
No, it doesn't. That is a hypothetical. That has nothing to do with logic, okay? So you can't... I wanted you to listen what I'm saying. So give me a form of logic that it can be applied to an animal. You can't just say X, Y, and Z.
The law of non-contradiction. Like I said, X cannot be both P and not P at the same time.
So you're just claiming that there can't be a cyclops of an animal.
An animal cannot be both walking and still at the same time.
Okay, so just because that doesn't even exist for it to be abide by anything. So just because it doesn't exist, that doesn't mean it abides by logic. That something doesn't exist. So how are you going to claim it abides by it? It don't exist. To abide by it or not.
You just said human logic exists.
Oh my god, bro. No, bro. No. Give me a logic thing that animals could use and couldn't, because you're the one claiming that logic is in the scope. Besides that one.
What do you mean besides that one? It's the most basic.
It's not working. It's not working, so go somewhere else.
Explain how an animal...
I just did!
Explain how it can be both walking and not walking.
So that's not even a logical thing. That's just something that just can't happen.
It doesn't abide by that.
Hold on. Let me explain. So just because something like that cannot happen, that doesn't mean all of a sudden it's a logical kind of argument or it means logic. It just means that it doesn't exist. Has nothing to do with any kind of logic. So just because an animal can't be a banana, like a bear can't be a banana and a bear, that doesn't mean it's abiding by anything. That doesn't even exist. It don't even exist. So now we have to look up, can you abide by something even though you don't exist? Let's see. This is really an illogical question, but let's see.
Yo, for the people in the chat, I asked her if she says she believes in human logic. She literally said yes. And if you believe in human logic, then you believe that animals abide by it too. Again, you guys joined like halfway through.
Okay, now it wants to say this.
Human logic still applies to animals. So sure, if you're gonna argue that, that's not what I'm arguing. My whole point, my whole basis was that.
Wait, I thought it's not a human kind of logic. I thought logic just comes in everything. It's not just human.
Is human logic.
Okay.
Again,
but you claimed.
Weren't even here. Have you guys in the chat?
Stop looking at the chat. No, what are you looking at the chat for?
It's painful to see that these guys assume they, know what we were talking about this whole time. They join halfway through and completely miss.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. They're not up here. They're not up here. If you continue to talk to them, then you're going. You're out. Because if you want to talk to the comments, just type it out. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. All right, well. Can you just move on to my other claims? Because you're just screaming at me like you're not going anywhere. You're not moving. Okay, so let's get into it. There's no scientific proof. That was my second claim.
Yeah, so what if I just say these creation stories are metaphorical, not literal?
Okay, that will still be no proof. I don't care what kind of thing it is.
Okay, well, I'm just saying you can't, if you're trying to disprove something that's metaphorical, that's nonsensical because it's not supposed to be taken literally. So you can't disprove something that's not supposed to be taken literally using literal means.
Well, not everything.
Again, that's just nonsensical, and it's not a question to ask. That's like saying why.
Okay, so then again, then the next question is, if it's not taken literally, then how are you supposed to take it? What kind of thing? So if something that's literally explaining how you're supposed to act, the God you're supposed to follow, how it was created, if those things are not taken literally, then why would the rest of the thing be taken literally?
What?
Exactly. But just because something's not being taken literally, that doesn't mean that there can't be any scientific claim behind it. Okay, so what I mean by to type in a chat, I'm gonna be like, let you down, so you can do that. Not when I'm talking to you.
Okay, last time I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get right back to you. Literally, okay, I'm done. If these people were here the whole time,
no,
that we were talking,
no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
We were talking about human logic.
And this is the problem.
Everything abides by human logic. But everyone in the chat presupposed I was talking about logic as a concept and are now bringing their own ideas onto me trying to disprove.
Who cares?
We found a common ground that we both agreed on human logic. This is why.
No, I never found a common ground.
Every single one of you guys in the comments are the real low tiers for presupposing your own ideology on something that
Stop saying names. Stop. What is wrong with you?
Go ahead. All right, I'm done.
You're so aggressive, and you're the one who has this belief in a higher power.
Go ahead. Restate what you just said.
You said that it's not supposed to be taken literally, okay? Or were you talking to the chat?
What if I just said it is?
No, but that's what you just told me. So you can't switch it up now. So which one you want to go with?
Like I said, your objection fails when I just say we can take the story metaphorically. So you're trying to say, well, how do we know when to take stories metaphorically and when not to?
Yeah. Stop. All right, you got 5 seconds.
All right,
are you a child?
Yes,
you are.
Even before we had scientific proof that these stories that say don't sound very logical or couldn't be true, there were many people who didn't take, let's say,
I never claimed that.
The Bible, literally. And again, I can provide you evidence for this.
I don't want any evidence that is not scientifical, because guess what? When it's scientifical, it's not. You can't refuse it. So if you're gonna give me something that's not scientifical, which that's the whole claim for the second argument, it's not gonna work. Okay?
Dea.
What?
Like I just said, if I say it's metaphorical, then you can't refute it. Can you just agree on that? If I say it's metaphorical, you can't refute it, right?
You can. This is what's going down right now. Is refuting it.
No. Like, if it is metaphorical,
whatever it is, it can still be refuted. Whatever you claim it to be.
No, okay,
I'm saying that would be a yes.
So, Dea.
Can you just call me Midnight?
All right, Midnight. All I'm trying to say is this is a nonsensical question. Because if this is metaphorical, let's say Genesis is metaphorical. And
yeah, of course it is.
You're trying to disprove something metaphorical that's not literal by using literal means, which are scientific means. It makes no sense because you cannot disprove something that's not taken literally using literal means if it's actually metaphorical.
But then again, the Bible.
That's like saying explain a miracle. The whole point of miracles is that they're inexplicable. So you can't ask me to explain something that's inexplicable. The same thing that goes is you're asking why is grass red? It's a nonsensical question.
So just because things are not taken literally, that doesn't mean people don't take it. Okay? Because obviously people do.
You can't
I don't care. I don't care. I do not care what you don't do. All right? This is what I'm claiming. All right? So, and another thing, whatever that thing might be, if it's not taken literally, if it is, whatever, that doesn't change the fact that it's not scientific evidence. It's not. And what is scientific evidence? Is something that's a fact. So I don't care if people take it literally or they don't, or sometimes they do. But the Bible is taken literally, even though some parts of the Bible, like speaking about like if Jesus was a door, that's not taken literally, but doesn't change the fact that a lot of the Bible is taken literally. So just because one section of it is not taken literally, the whole thing, there's not supposed to be any type of scientific evidence to it because one part of it is not taken literally? No, that's not.
I genuinely don't know what you're trying to say here.
I know.
So you're saying there are parts of the Bible that can be taken literally, and there are types of the Bible that can be taken metaphorically, right?
Yeah, that's what people say.
So why can't we take Genesis metaphorically?
The question isn't why you couldn't. The question is there's no scientific evidence. That wasn't even a question.
There's no scientific evidence for what?
Of God!
Scientifical isn't even a word, by the way.
Oh my God. Goodbye.
All right.
Jesus, Lord, have Mary die. If you want to come up, just raise your hand. But if you choose to stay in the comments, like the real MD, like you don't even know where you're at right now. You still don't know. You're literally terrible. You're literally sick. Like you don't know what's going on. You still don't with that tongue.
No, don't say anything because you ran from.
You don't say anything. You're a hater.
Please shut up. Because
you be
this
quiet.
Whole conversation, y'all are both uneducated. That whole conversation went nowhere. Especially you, because you just deny your own claims. And there's somebody who's an atheist who is calling you out.
Okay, not everybody would agree with each other just because they're in the same committee.
Not everybody would agree. She literally just gave you the defined definition that you just messed up out of nowhere.
What definition was that? What definition was that? What was I talking about? Because I don't know. What are you talking about? I don't read the comments when I'm busy talking to somebody. So can you let me know?
You will understand.
See, this is your problem. You type all that stuff, these long paragraphs in the comments, just to come up here and tell me nothing.
You have to make another server.
Just to come up here and tell me nothing. Because I got VC.
Oh, you got VC, man? Oh, so you could have just.
Yeah, nobody's running from a guy like you, okay?
You technically did. Because you just kept.
No, it's because you speak for other people, right? You don't speak for yourself. So you raise your hand to speak for another person who's no longer had the chance to speak, and you don't even say the exact same thing that they're saying.
I'm saying that both sides really cooked each other because at first.
You're not the judge of that, sweetie, and you're not the host. So I don't really care what you think. What side won? You're coming up here to try to debate about your Lord and Savior. I don't care. You're not supposed to be no judge. Who gives you that right? Look, just so entitled. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I wish your mom did something to you. Like, honestly. Do you have a mic?
Oh, I think it was mute. Yeah, I'm sure there's context that I was missing for like the beginning of y'all one-on-one with the other guy, Tomo. So like I only walked in on like maybe like half of it. I don't know how much, but I think
that's fine. You can speak for yourself. You don't have to go off of what other people are saying, you know?
I know, but I'm saying like because I'm an atheist, and so I've heard some of like the major like arguments for like theism, and I would say for like making rebuttals as an atheist, I just don't think you were going about it in a productive way, especially when they were talking about the like even like just like the last point that I got, which was with the Bible. You know, the Bible it's almost referred to as like a library. You know, every book. You know, it has like different genres. They can accept.
BB, my dear, I'm gonna pick you up tomorrow, okay? So Jojo, listen. You're not my teacher. You didn't teach me nothing. So the fact that you're so entitled to tell somebody who is a grown-up what they should be doing, what they shouldn't do, because you guys have the same belief, that's not your right. So I'm not going to, because me and you are atheists, I'm not going to come up when you make your own server and say, oh, I don't think you did a good job. Like, honestly, like, you should switch up the whole thing because I'm the only one who disagrees with it. So you should just switch it up because I'm an atheist. You don't have the right to tell somebody that. You don't. And I don't care. Me and you might use different arguments. That doesn't mean we have to use the same. Like, every Christian don't use the same argument because they're different. So stop being entitled. It doesn't get you nowhere, sweetie. Okay? Like, Jesus Christ. Hey, BB. BB. Are you scared? You don't have to be scared, okay? All right, I'm going to keep you up here. You don't have to say anything. But don't tell me what I should be doing. Just try to debate and try to make me sound uneducated. You don't have to tell me what I shouldn't be doing because I'm not listening.
Yo, what's going on? Hey, man, I just wanted to say a little bit. Be honest, God is great, God is good. But this is what we got all done, bro. I ain't gonna lie, you was being a little too rude. You getting hostile with everybody, bro. Nobody likes all that, bro.
All right, you're telling me what I should be doing? Goodbye. You don't tell somebody what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Are you God? Am I supposed to listen to you? A stranger?
Ooh.
No, the answer is no. Stop being entitled.
Ooh.
Look, I'm not going to sit there and listen to somebody who I don't agree with tell me what I should be doing. If you don't like it, you can leave. Or you can pass away. BB.
No.
What do you mean no?
BB, no.
Hello.
All right, I'm gonna make you the mod, okay?
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
I know it's you. You don't have to talk like that, okay?
Okay. Thank you, man. Okay. So first of all, okay.
Danny, that's my little cousin. So how about I ban you, okay?
Whoa. Oh, dang. Okay, so why you don't believe in the existence of God?
Let's go about something you can't refute, okay?
Okay.
Let me ask you a couple questions. This is my argument. So, let's say you remove all the knowledge you know about the sun.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go out and you see the sun. Would you still think it exists?
I would just find learning about the sun. Honestly, I would.
Would you think it existed?
If I never knew anything about it and I walked outside and I see it, would I believe it exists? I mean, yeah, that's how we find new things out. No, yes.
I don't need you to explain nothing to me. I just need a yes or no, okay?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
You. I'm sorry.
I'm a human being. I burp.
Yeah, I know. We're all.
Okay, so let's say you're in the middle of the ocean with a boat, and you see a creature you never saw before. Are you going to think that creature existed, or no?
Yes. What are you trying to get here?
Just let me finish, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, so let's see. You see this new invention, right? You've never heard about this before, and you see it. Would you think it existed?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say you remove all religious books, right? In this hypothetical, no religious books like the Quran, the Bible, any religious texts to form religions, they don't exist anymore.
Okay.
Would you still believe in God?
No, I guess. because I wouldn't know what the existence of God was or what a God was. So like, no.
So the reason why I asked you that is because the sun is a fact. That creature is a fact. soon to be discovered as a fact, right? Just because you don't know something, that doesn't mean it's not a fact anymore, because now you see it, right? So you can never tell me that the sun never exists because I can go up and see it, and so on and so forth. But if you need a book to tell you of an existence that you claim it's fact, and that's the only thing you're going off of, then it's not a fact. Because a fact can be distributed in multiple different areas, and they can all consistently say the same thing, but it can't with any other religious thing. Yeah.
Everybody that was here before.
No.
Okay, fine.
Just answer what I just said.
I never once brought up the Bible. I never once. I brought up logical facts like the cosmological argument and the metaphysical argument. I never brought up the Bible. Not one time did I bring up the Bible. What are you talking about?
Did I mention the Bible, or did I say all religious books?
Oh my gosh, you just literally said
You need to stop cutting my cousin up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This will be a problem.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Clock that T. Yeah. I did not mention just the Bible. I said all religious books, which would include the Bible.
Yeah, I don't you assume that I'm a Christian? What? I mean, I literally stated that earlier, so it's kind of...
Okay, so how are you going to say, I never mentioned the Bible, and then you're Christian? So it would form the Bible. So what is your point?
Because I'm a Christian, bro, and I was talking about religious books, and
so,
I'm literally a Christian.
So okay, you got offended that I said other religious texts. Whatever. Listen, what I'm trying to mention is God is not a fact.
Okay, just because he's not physically, you can't physically see him and he's not a fact doesn't mean that he's not real, right? So I can't physically see my consciousness. That doesn't mean that I can't, that doesn't mean that consciousness doesn't
What is your
exist.
consciousness?
Just because I don't feel love doesn't mean that I can't, doesn't mean that real isn't,
no, bro, stop, you're stuttering. Just leave it alone. Let me ask you a question, okay?
I guess, just because I can't.
What is your consciousness? Where is that supplied?
To my brain.
Your brain! Your consciousness is in your brain, correct?
Yeah.
And can you see your brain?
No.
You could though, right?
No. By your logic.
Yes, you can. You can get a scan.
My brain doesn't exist.
Your what?
My brain doesn't exist by your logic.
No, you can go and see it. There's no other way that you can interpret God without the Bible. You know that, right?
I can see logical evidence, but I can't believe. But that, why you can't give the same standard?
The point is that there's only one source that God is real. There's not multiple sources that can all say the same thing.
There is, actually. For example, the Big Bang Theory. You're literally talking about the Big Bang Theory, right? And that was literally made by a Christian. You're.
No, it wasn't.
That was a hypocrite.
No, he was Christian. Okay, but Christianity didn't get with his view upon things, because technically he did go against Christianity going forth with that.
No, he didn't.
Because that. So you think
his whole theory was trying to prove the existence of a Christian God. How would he go
that
against?
That didn't prove no Christian. Listen.
That makes no sense.
Listen. So you don't think the story of Adam and Eve and the earth being made in 6 days go against the beginning of every universe? I mean, the beginning of everything, which would be the universe? You don't think those two refute each other?
How do they refute each other?
Because the earth was not made in 6 days.
No, it's actually not.
If the earth...
It has never been... there's no specific day on when the universe was made. You believe that the universe was made in 0 days?
Actually, let me look it up. Let me see the number.
You believe that the universe was made in 0 days? How does that make it?
No, I don't. It took way more. It took way more than you can even comprehend how long this took. So the universe took that long, and the Earth is 13 point something billion years old, right? And Jesus was 2,000 years ago, and so on and so forth. It wouldn't be made in 6 days, so it would refute it. So let's see. Hold on.
Wasn't it 7? Wait, am I tripping? Or was it 7 days? It was 7 days. Am I tripping? It was.
The Earth took roughly 10 million to 20 million years to put all together to its core size.
What's your source?
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Oh, oh my god. Yo, there's no way you going on Wikipedia. Are we serious?
I mean, it's AI overview.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
But this is not something that comes from Wikipedia. Didn't study this. It's just on Wikipedia. Okay, so you can look this up in multiple different engines, or you can go whatever website, and it will all say the same thing.
I guess, but
okay. So just because I get it off of Wikipedia, that doesn't mean that Wikipedia studied it, because that's not true. They just put the source down. I know. So what are you doing? All right. So obviously, the Big Bang would refute Christianity. Because the Earth took 6 days, according to Christians, but the Earth, in actuality, took 10 million to 20 million years to form. At the point, then it took another like a million years for it. Well, it took longer than
scientific
million
source,
years.
not just Wikipedia or
Okay.
AI overview. Give me a yeah. And I want you, and can you read it?
Okay, so you can look up the USGS, and the title is The Age of the Earth.
USGS. Wait,
and
what?
then type USGS, and then type, like, next to it, The Age of the Earth, and it will explain everything for you. Even, like, certain stuff. Yeah.
Of the Earth? The universe and Earth are two separate things. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Earth. That's how it refutes it. The universe would include Earth.
Oh my God.
All right, go. You're out of here, bro.
Oh, yo.
Okay, by the way, the Bible never...
Sophia,
What?
can I say something?
What?
That boy Noah.
What?
Let me say something to Noah. Noah, why are you joining me? No, we don't have nothing in comics. You are my ex, so I'm not even...
BB!
Okay, I'm joking. Noah, why would you join me anyway? I don't like you.
Baby, what did I tell you about that?
He's
like,
not
no.
my ex. I'm joking. But no, I don't know why you were playing this game, because I don't know why you just joined me.
Okay. So by the way, the Bible never mentions nothing prior than how the earth was made. So I wouldn't even bring it up. I would just bring up the fact that the earth in the Bible, it took 6 days to make, according to God, but scientifically it took over 1 million years. So that's how we refute it. And what is the Big Bang? The universe. And where's Earth? In the universe. So it would pair. Ding ding. It would pair. There is scientific evidence. What else are we getting it from? The Bible? Hey, Optimus Prime.
Yeah, can you say Earth again?
Earth.
No, I said Earth, not Earth.
Are you bullying me?
Oh no, I'm just trying to have a genuine discussion here.
Can you say can you say something for me?
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Wait, hold on. Can you say something?
Something.
Something such as, can you say, I hate God?
Sure, I hate God.
Thank you. Now, where do you want to try?
Oh yeah, so, where'd you get your source that the Earth is 13 billion years old?
I think it's 0.8. I'm gonna
no,
pull it up.
I think you're off by like 9 billion years. The age is roughly around 4.5 billion if you round it.
Of what?
What do you mean of what? What do you mean of what?
Are you talking about the estimate of what?
Yeah, I'm talking about the estimate for the age of the Earth based on radiometric dating of rocks. It's 4.5 billion.
I didn't say the age of it.
You said 13
I said how long
earlier.
How old is it? Yeah.
So you're saying it's 13 billion?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this source from?
A certain class I took.
Yeah, what was the class?
What class you think?
Maybe gender studies. I don't know.
No, it was some type of
science.
science.
Studies, because that's the thing that people choose if they're not smart at anything else. They just go with gender studies to get the easy degree.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, when someone else uses like just as much snarkiness against you, you kind of just go quiet, right?
Yeah, because I was incorrect. I mean, you've never heard that before?
Never heard what?
Like how old the Earth is? It was 13.8 or something.
No, it's not 13.8.
You never heard that though.
You're thinking of the universe's age. The Earth is 4.4 or something.
Oh. Right. Yeah, I got that mixed up. Well, whoop-de-doo-doo. Like it's technically not the same.
That's a pretty big mistake when you're having a debate with someone. But
yeah, I know.
Your opponent just kind of let it slide because your opponent kind of made.
Well, he didn't know either.
Sophia.
What?
Are you promise you're gonna pick me up? Cause.
Yes, I will.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's wasting a lot of her time just raging at people right now.
Well, Matt, listen, it was something I got incorrect. Luckily, I'm admitting it. Wouldn't it be worse if I said, oh, no, and get you down? So, yeah, I got it wrong. It was actually the universe, period. And what they do, though? It's a mistake. People make mistakes. But the people who don't admit it is the ones you need to really look out for. Okay? Is there anything else you want to say? Thank you for correcting me. Now you got me locked and loaded.
I don't think there's anything getting you locked and loaded. You kind of got to work on your arguments, bro.
Okay, what about it?
What do you mean, what about it? You want to talk about how every person that's been up here, you've just been resorting to yelling over them whenever they try to make a point, even if it's not a valid point. I don't agree with like half the points that people have tried telling you, but you can't even refute it. You don't even know how to. Okay,
so obviously I know how. If I didn't know how, I wouldn't be up here. Secondly,
even if you didn't know
excuse me.
Because you think you can debate.
Secondly, when somebody's talking over me and not letting me answer and not answering the question I give them and go to try to ask me a question, it gets somebody mad. It gets anyone mad. And it got me mad, okay? Because they don't do this one time. They do it multiple times. And I still consistently let them up here. Okay? So obviously that will make a human being mad because at the end of the day, I'm a human. Right? So yeah, I get mad when someone's not answering my direct question and going in circles and try to make me answer their question when they can answer mine.
Yeah, being able to debate and keeping your composure is also part of being human. It's called having a skill.
Yeah, sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. That doesn't mean my whole argument must be false because I'm showing emotion.
You're not. That's the problem. That you're not supposed to show.
You are not the dictator of how things go. You know that, right?
Oh, I mean, I know that you.
I mean, you're literally being a clown.
I know you don't like when other people give you advice, as we saw with when Gojo's wife was up.
Yeah, because it's not factual. It's not factual.
It's not factual.
It's not needed either. It's not needed either. So when someone gives someone advice, it sounds more like an attack than something that they actually asked for. Because they're not willing to listen to something that they feel like it's an attack and something that especially is not right. So they're going to label it as such and not as you're genuinely trying to help. Because if you're genuinely trying to help, you wouldn't try to sit there and belittle me in front of, a chat, even though I don't care about the chat right now. You would be in the comments, maybe you should turn it down. But instead you want to have that power grip over somebody because you can't do that anywhere else. And you want to sit there and try to belittle me in front of everyone, which is not going to go down, little Matt boy. So thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me about the universe age, but you know what I was trying to say, okay? But I don't need that unsolicited advice because that's not advice if I don't ask. Clock that T. how am I a grown woman? Let me know.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you say Earth just one more time?
Can you say I hate God?
Sure, I hate God. Can you say Earth just one more time?
Can you say the N-word?
No, I would get banned if I said that. Can you say Earth just one more time?
No, you're not going to belittle me, dude.
How am I belittling you by
because you think I'm saying a certain word wrong? Right? And you're trying to, and if I say this, are you going to laugh in front of my face? Because that's really disrespectful.
Of course not. Of course
not. Okay, Earth.
No. Okay.
All right, great. Heard. So let's move on.
Okay, so
did you just laugh in front of my face?
No, I'm not laughing.
That's disrespectful.
No, my cat keeps trying to like eat my pasta.
Matt,
so
I'm not. Listen, be yourself. You don't have to come up here and since people say, "Oh, you sound like." Can you please be quiet? Let me finish, okay? For a second. Okay, so just because you don't even know how to be yourself, Matt, because since people say, "Oh, you sound like that one guy from that one show," and you make your whole personality that one character, because you don't know how to form your own personality. That's why you're trying to belittle other people, such as myself.
Ooh, tell him.
And that's why you're disgusting. Yes, Mordecai.
Oh, where's Mordecai from?
I have no idea, but it's from a show.
Wonderful.
He doesn't even have his own identity and telling me what I should be doing. Okay?
Wait, how do you know he's getting his personality from? Have you watched the show?
Because his avatar is literally Mordecai, and he acts like he sounds like Mordecai, so he wants to make his identity him. Right? So you can't even come up here as yourself, tell me what I should be doing. You're fraudulent, and that will never go down. I don't take advice from men, sorry.
For real.
All Caucasian people.
Wait, or what?
Can we move on now?
Caucasian, then. So let's get back to the
I know you're not. Okay.
So anyway, so let's talk about your Earth theory,
okay,
as well as your idea that the Earth is like 13 billion years old. Hopefully you don't hold to that.
It was the universe. Yeah, it was the universe.
Great. So why do you think God is not real? And also, just to be clear here, we're not talking about any like religious God, right? We're just talking about.
That's the only God I get it from. That's the only God that exists.
You realize? Okay, so wait, you realize a God could exist without it being religious, right?
No, that's not true.
Wait, wow. Okay, so are you gonna say that there's gonna be like a logical contradiction with that?
There's always a contradiction to things like that.
Okay, so what's the logical contradiction with God existing without being religious?
So I generally feel like God is not real. So the
I don't care what you genuinely feel. I want to know what the contradiction is.
I'm gonna say it to you. Can you let me finish? See, and someone says stuff like that, clearly mocking me, and I'm not supposed to be mad. And I'm not supposed to be mad, right?
No,
right?
It's okay.
All right. So I genuinely think that God is not real. So, and I only think that people get their idea of God from these religious texts, from these religious books. So if you don't have that and you still believe in God, there's literally nothing to go off of. You're even more fraudulent, right?
Okay, now you made like a statistic claim. You said that people only get their God from religious texts. Can I get an argument for that?
People know what God is from their religious texts.
Wait, so are you saying it's impossible to know what God is without religious texts?
Yeah, because let me ask you this.
Okay, so then why does deism exist? Why does that exist?
It falls off of that religious text.
No, it doesn't. Deism doesn't have any religious texts. No religious texts.
Let me ask you this question then. Let me ask you the question.
Sure.
Firstly, the only reason why people have found a new kind of religion, or whatever that thing is called. What?
Nothing.
Don't do that no more time. I will get you down.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. So my cousin, she's not right now. I'm gonna get her right soon. She's too young. Anyways, those things fall off of religion, okay? Even though it's not based off of the typical classical theism, that doesn't mean it wasn't based off of it, okay? Because they got their idea of God from that. Because let me ask you this question now. Because you're interrupting me, you silly boy. Now let's move on. If you remove all the religious texts in this hypothetical, all of it's never existed, never ever existed, which would be the Bible, the Quran, so on and so forth. They're all gone, right? Do you still think people would be that kind of thing that you just mentioned with the D?
Yes, because it doesn't. So if this is why, so the reason why you came to that conclusion is because I don't think you actually know what deism is. That's why. So
I know what it kind of could be.
You know what it kind of could be? Okay, well, that was kind of redundant. So what deism, I'll just tell you. So deism is the belief that there's going to be a first cause. And this first cause exists. And this,
oh my God.
Just to be clear, I didn't finish. So this first cause exists, and this first cause doesn't interact with it. It doesn't interact with its creation. So that's what deism is. So why is that going to necessitate some sort of belief in religion? Go ahead. I would like an argument for that.
First of all, it literally claims that it wouldn't interact. So I don't know why would it claim that unless it would pull from a different religion. Get that, right?
Religion, so wait, what religion? Okay, yeah, go ahead. So I want you to justify that claim. What religion claims that God doesn't interact with creation? Tell me, name one.
No, I'm saying the reason why it's clarifying that. I'm saying the reason why it's clarifying that is from other religions.
That's not why it's clarifying that. The reason why it's saying that is because it's not necessary. It's not necessary for God to do so.
So when things are not necessary, do people or whatever just claim it? Or would they just ignore it and just move on because it's not necessary?
That sounded like word soup. When things aren't necessary, they don't have to hold to the, if, like, for example, let's say you have a water bottle, right? If opening the water bottle up, like the cap, wasn't necessary for you to drink it, then you wouldn't have to open up the water bottle for the cap. So the same thing applies to God. So if they're saying that, well, it's not necessary for God to interact with his creation, then you can believe in a God that doesn't interact with his creation, as long as this God doesn't, positively.
All right. So again, didn't answer my question. Now shut your bum for a second. Shut your bum for a second, okay? So when something's not necessary, it's not stated. Okay?
That's not what it means. Can I get a definition?
I'm not saying that's what it means. I'm saying if it's not necessary, it's not stated, right? Because firstly, it's pulling from it, right? Let me tell you how. So if it's claiming, it doesn't need to interact, that is from multiple religious texts claiming that God has interacted with his creations. So the only reason why it's stating that is for those other religions, from those other religions.
So wait, can I get like some sort of like academic backing for that claim?
No, you can't acknowledge that?
So you're saying you're stating claims that you can't justify. That's what you're
saying.
No,
I'm just asking. I'm asking you a question. I don't need every source behind everything I'm saying.
The thing is, right, I can acknowledge it if it were the case it was coherent, but it doesn't sound coherent.
Okay, so again, you don't get the fact that this belief is mentioning it doesn't need to interact is solely from the fact that there are beliefs claiming that God interacts with it.
Nope.
So it's just saying that just to say it, right?
No, that's wrong. It's solely based on metaphysics. That's how they come to the conclusion. It's based off of metaphysics.
So
it's not based off like any sort of like rules or principles that are going to be endorsed by.
I'm not claiming it's rules. It's really not hard to understand, though. It's like not hard.
Even if it's not rules, even if it's teachings or just cultural tradition that's from a religion, it's not based on any of that.
Well, I'm saying that belief is literally falling under the classical theist belief.
By the way,
that's what they do because a lot of
definitionally wrong. So you're going in negation.
Goodbye.
The definition.
You're not even trying to understand. You're just interject each and every time I speak.
What happened?
He's just not right in the head. That's all.
Bro, you're an idiot. Unseat me, please.
No, you're actually getting banned.
Sophia. Sophia, can I stay?
Huh?
Can I stay up and just close my mic?
I mean, what do you have to say, BB?
Okay.
All I have to say is that you are an idiot. A little bunch of rocks on a pile.
And I do not uphold this religious framework of goodness, right? You guys do, but y'all are the rudest people in the history. Because y'all cannot fathom someone generally not believing in your God, so you hate them so much more than you hate people who like little kids. It's literally ridiculous. Period. And Sosa, you're not coming back up. You're literally disgusting. You're literally disgusting. If you want to come back up, you should have never typed that in the comments, because I can see it. I can literally see it. You think you're going to get a chance? No, you're not. The real MTD, you're just ridiculous. Stop typing all these sentences. And then you comment your own stuff. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I guess we'll wait. We'll wait until the right person joins who can admit when they're wrong and admit that, yeah, this sounds illogical. I don't know why I believe in something like this. Till you guys are ready. Jada, don't make me unalive you. And it's judging me and his game is kind of weak, and I know that he's gonna approach me. Right, they don't know why they're claiming that. You guys don't want to come here to get an understanding. All you want to do is just try to degrade somebody. That's all you're trying to do. You're not trying to hear my points, and you're not trying to hear my explanation. All you're trying to do is cut me off and trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. And you think that's how it's going to work around here? No, it is not. It's not. Nobody has time to hear stuff like that. You give. So no one's going to raise their hand? Are you serious?
You want me to just choose who want to come up?
Okay.
Let's try this girl. I can't send her. This girl, Love MTD. Oh, that'd be better. Hold on.
That's not a girl. That's a disgusting little boy.
And Jada.
Don't ask her how old she is. You don't need to know that.
Hold on.
Do you know how to let people up?
It's the reason why my voice sounds like that. This is not mine. Okay, I put my voice back together. It's hard.
So nobody wants to raise their hand. This is ridiculous.
Really is.
I mean, I guess you guys, I guess you guys are scared. It's okay to be scared. But don't type in the comments if you're scared to come up. You're not busy, Jada. Why would you join and then say you're busy? It doesn't make any sense. Little girl. Little girl. He wasn't understanding, and he wasn't trying to understand either, and he was talking over me.
I found her. Jada.
My justification is everything I have today. It's like over 100 things.
Okay, I picked Jada.
Jada, she's too busy. She's too busy, apparently.
Well, she is.
Okay, so question, like, you said everything you have today. What do you mean?
That would be my evidence.
Just what like once again, like can you specify like when you mean
like scientifical, history,
okay,
history, dinosaurs, space, my cat, myself, my sister, Afghanistan, all those things.
Okay, so let's stick on one and go from there. Which one do you want to go over?
History. We'll do history.
History. Okay, so what do you want to bring up?
Okay. So, did you know Egypt? Did you know of? Great. So, Egypt was a very strong economy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could blame it for what they believed in, which would be God. They believed in multiple gods that would help them through the afterlife.
Okay.
And if what they believe turned out to be not true, which it is, then it would be a big waste of their time, because throughout their life they were preparing from doing good deeds for the afterlife, so they can be rewarded in the afterlife. So not only is religion is a coping mechanism.
Yeah, sure, you can argue that it can be used as a coping mechanism, but that does not necessarily say that a religion is going to be particularly false. Now, if you want to talk about
well, let me let you know. I'm not done. I wasn't done though.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And let's say in India, when Hinduism was being crafted, okay? And then let's talk about Afghanistan and the Sharia law. And then let's talk about the South of America, right?
Okay,
and then let's talk about Hawaii. And then let's talk about Mexico. And then so on and so forth. You know why I'm mentioning all these countries?
I do.
Why?
Yeah, you're saying like each of these have a specific religious belief.
And
that they had to do with some sort of like conflict in history?
No. It depends where you're brought up. It depends where you're brought up, the country. And it depends what time period you're in, of what religion you're going to be. So if God was really about like finding your own path to him, then why is that path already set up for your country? And then if it's in your country, you're usually born into it, and your family and most people around you are that one religion.
Yeah, exactly. Like so something you brought up, I kind of want to point it out. Like you talking about like where these people may come from. That's like I think KNZ pointed that out in the chat really well. That's a genetic fallacy. So basically saying that like since people come from somewhere, then they're going to believe a certain thing, and that's going to entail that there is some truth or falsehood behind it, is not going to be a logical argument. And also, like with something that you said regarding like Hinduism and Egyptology in particular, the belief in multiple gods is not necessarily going to entail that there is no God simply because they believe in different gods. It could be different interpretations of a god or gods, and it could still be leading towards something else factual. So you stated a bunch of these things, yet you have not actually stated any good argument against God itself.
I was just letting you know the basis.
Yeah, but like what's your biggest argument against God, like metaphysically?
Well, this would line up to the biggest argument of them all, that it's not a fact. Okay?
It's not. What do you mean by that?
Let me finish.
What's a fact?
Don't worry, I'm gonna let you know. I'll let you in on things more than the Christians.
Oh, okay? I am a Christian. I'm a theologian.
You don't have to ask me. I'm gonna let you know. All right?
Go ahead.
So it's not a fact. When something is a fact, it can be in many different sources, and all of it would say the same thing because it's a fact. So let's say you're in Egypt. Let's say you're in India. Let's say you're in Africa. Let's say you're in Mexico. Let's say you're in Hawaii. And they claim that they see the sun. They're all going to say that the sun distributes heat, and it's yellow. They're not going to say nothing different. Okay, than those facts. But when it comes down to religion, each and every one of them say different in those regions. So when something's a fact, it cannot be disputed like that, or either changed to fit a narrative, because it's just how things are. So that's why I brought that up.
Okay,
So let's
sure.
say.
like,
So let's also say.
Hold on, really quick. I kind of want to stick on something that you said there. You said
Okay.
like fact. Okay, let's go on about germs. Let's talk about germ theory. Because that wasn't a fact until relatively recently, and it was heavily debated, and people had different theories and arguments for what certain illnesses may be caused by. Does that mean that they were all false, or were they leading towards something that's true?
No one of them claimed a fact, correct?
There were certain groups at the time that did claim that their belief was factual regarding germ theory.
Through what evidence?
Sure, so we can go over things like the concept of bloodletting, how that links to germ theory, and we can go over the concept of like what certain illnesses causes certain things. We can go over microbiology, like there are many different things that they went on.
All right, was any of those theories that these random people I've never heard about made, was it ever distributed as a fact? Like if I search that up, it would be like, oh yeah, it's a fact.
Yes.
I said if I would go search it up, right, would it come up as, yeah, what they're saying is a fact. This is true.
Well, I can definitely say that depending on like where you are, depending on like the research at the time, sure. Like we can be factual.
I'm not talking
on
about.
one thing.
I'm talking about the only one thing that you mentioned, which was that. Okay, so the difference between what that and what I'm saying is. That is a fact. The sun is a fact. What they were saying was not factual whatsoever, and it wasn't even labeled as a fact.
Maybe at the time.
Yeah, at the time, right? It wasn't labeled as a fact. So it's not like... Okay, but when you bring up this, right, they had nothing to go off of, right? Each and every one of them were saying something different, right? That's the point.
That's true. Yeah, they were saying something different. But
all right,
so they had nothing to go off of was false.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, when something's a fact, it will be consistent in different regions. That wasn't consistent.
Not necessarily. So, say for
okay,
instance,
majority.
Let's say me and you, we both observe.
Oh my God!
Crash, right?
I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So let's say me and you, we both observe a car crash, right? I say that it was 2 orange cars that crashed, and you say no, they were actually red. If both of our beliefs are conflicting, does that discredit the car crash, or can we both agree that yes, there was a car crash, even if certain details about it were inaccurate?
So what's the question? Was it a car crash or what color it was?
No, I'm just saying if we both said that there were different details. No, my question was if there are different details of the car crash, does that discredit the car crash?
It depends. What do you want to know exactly about the car crash?
No, sure. Like, if you want to pinpoint exactly on.
Yeah, because someone can be colorblind.
I'm saying the car crash as a whole.
That would have nothing to do with the car crash of what color it was, unless they hit and run.
A different belief or different view on something discredit that thing.
Yes, to some degree.
How so?
Because if 2 people who were in the same location, I'm guessing they weren't that far.
Hold on, wait, what?
In this hypothetical, were they far or no?
Let's just say that they were on the corner right next to it.
So were they together?
I mean, let's say, yeah, sure. Let's say they're 2 friends.
All right, so that would even be more weird that one would claim a different color, but that would mean that.
Not necessarily. That wouldn't necessarily be weird. It can be differing perspective, no matter the relationship between those 2 people.
Yeah, but the baseline would be the car crash, not the color.
Yes, the baseline would be the car crash, but my question would be, does difference in detail in at least like eyewitness perspective, does that discredit the car crash itself?
No.
To some degree.
Right? It doesn't, right?
Yes, to some degree.
Okay, yes, to some degree. How does it discredit the car crash?
Because car crashes are made by cars, not just any cars, a kind of a type of car, right? So when you're usually trying to do this, right, they wouldn't really focus on the color, they would focus on the model of the car. So let's just go with that because that will sound better. So the model of the car would have to do with the car crash because of the insurance. So getting that mixed up.
So once again, you're highlighting detail. Once again, like I'm saying, does that discredit that a car crash actually occurred?
No, but that wasn't the question.
So that's exactly what I was saying, right? I was saying that it does not discredit that a car crash actually occurred. Now let's go back to the germ theory argument. Does multiple details and opinions on what caused people to get sick at certain times discredit what actually got people sick? Or was it just different?
Yeah, but nobody was saying that didn't actually happen, right?
That wasn't my claim.
No, I'm just asking you. I know. So that was the point. The baseline doesn't change, right? People can also, there's something affecting, but they just didn't know exactly. But that doesn't change the fact that what I'm saying, okay? It doesn't change it. I don't even know what the frick are you talking about now? Because I thought that was what you were talking about.
I mean, explain, like, how does that not change anything that you said? I just disproved your whole argument regarding the
so when something's a fact, it would be consistent. The baseline. The baseline. The baseline. The baseline. The baseline. Hello?
I heard you.
Stop interrupting me!
Okay, hold on, but my question is, if it is going to be consistent to a baseline, does that mean a fact has to always be evident?
Yes, a fact would be the number one thing. The only thing.
Let's say we only learn about certain facts later. Before that, is it not a fact?
No, it's not going to be labeled as such. No.
Oh, labeled. No, you said labeled, but I'm saying, is it still objective fact? Even if it's not discovered until later.
Sophie, I'm about to leave the game
and
join back.
Okay. Yeah.
It can be. Okay, so we can agree that facts can be obtained regardless of personal belief or observation. Okay, so how is that? So how are you going to argue against God if you're using that example? What with, like, once again, if we're going off of that?
Okay. Well, in that germ thing, people can all come to terms with the baseline that there's something going wrong, right? No matter on how it got there, that doesn't change the facts. And guess what? That can be proven that there's something causing this, even though it has different stories. It doesn't matter, because the baseline can be proven, and people can say, yeah, this is what it is, right? But when God comes in play,
do you mean empirically?
I mean scientifical. I don't really care how you label it. I'm just going to use scientifical.
Okay, so let me ask you, what can science study?
Anything that is on this earth, and kind of outside this earth.
Like more specifically, like what are the 5 steps of the scientific method? Do you know?
I don't have that on top of my head right now.
Okay, well, just a few of them would be like if it's repeatable,
I don't have that.
Measurable, quantifiable, like things like that. So let me ask,
like empirical.
Would God fit into the scientific method? Would like if we're granting the classical theistic definition of God, where he is non-natural, non-physical, where he is not restricted by time, space, or matter, could science study that?
According to the Christian, right?
According to classical theism, not just Christianity.
Okay, so the answer would be yes to that.
So God could be scientifically studied. Explain. If he's not natural, how could he be studied?
Okay, so you have to look at how God has came in those senses numerous of times. Numerous.
Okay. No, so I'm talking about the divine essence of God, not necessarily God coming down in flesh.
I'm not talking about just Jesus.
Let's say I reject the Christian paradigm.
I'm not talking about just Jesus.
Okay, well, I know, once again, like, let's say I reject the Christian paradigm. I'm
not just talking about Jesus!
I know, but I'm
So why are you giving it all to Christianity?
Well, no, I'm talking about, let's just say that we're talking about God's divine essence outside of the universe. Let's just say that I believe that God is a non-physical being outside of the universe that is responsible for the creation of the universe and nothing more. How could science study that?
There would be no way of knowing that.
Exactly, because science can't study it, right?
No, it would just be nowhere of knowing that, period. Because you're claiming that God is beyond what is already observable, which would be also the universe. So there's no way of knowing that. between science or nothing that can ever be created either. That can never happen.
I would say that there's a different stance of evidence that you could use. I could say you can use logical or philosophical evidence.
That will come in the evidence that you claim that God cannot be.
Sure. So the definition of evidence will be anything that makes anyone's argument stronger and more appealing. So, like, let's say, for instance, that someone says, like, oh, like, I have reason to believe this, but it's not necessarily empirical, and these are my reasons.
I fear you're not getting anywhere.
Their argument being stronger.
You're not getting anywhere, dude.
I'm trying
you're
to
not.
explain to you, like, what evidence.
I don't want you to explain. No. You are making fallacies that you claim that cannot be accessed, and then you... that God cannot, the entity or whatever cannot be interpreted in that way, and then you claim that logic.
Not a fallacy.
Then you claim logic.
Yeah, that's an assertion, not a fallacy. What fallacy?
It is because you claim that God cannot be interpreted that way. That is can ever be perceived. Then you mention logic, and what is logic? Logic is only perceived through humans.
No, I would disagree. I would say that the
I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get in. I don't want to get in that right now.
No. You made a claim.
I don't want to get in that right now. I don't want to get into that because we're still on this.
You made a claim. You made a logical claim about an assertion, and now you're saying that you don't want to get into it. However, I am going to.
Because no, you listen here, okay? Stop.
No, hold on. No, because once again, you're saying that logic cannot be.
I'm literally going to get a knife and do something to myself. I don't want to lead into this right now. I don't want to lead into this. I don't. Right, I already get in it every day, and it leads nowhere when I talk about this.
Yeah, because like, quite frankly, putting it bluntly, you're
not getting anywhere. You're not even getting anywhere. You keep on moving the points because you can't make one.
You're the one that's been moving the point. You went to talk
about I'm not. You're the one. I only claimed.
Now you're talking about logic. You're the one moving the goalposts.
No, you mentioned logic. I'm the one who said that no, they can't be perceived.
You made a logical assertion about God. That's when I brought up logic.
Dude, listen to me very carefully, okay?
Sure, go ahead.
The original thing that I want to mention is fact, right? I don't want to get into what logic is because that has nothing to do with my argument that would lead to God, okay? A fact can be sourced from many different sources, and it can all lead to the same route, right? That doesn't come in the form of God, or any religious things for that matter, okay? Because that sickness, disease, bacteria, whatever germ you said, they all can have a baseline that something's going on. And that is the fact, okay?
Okay, so
they cannot. I didn't bring it to the religion part yet.
Are there different types of facts?
Of course they are, but listen, I didn't bring it to the religion part yet. I didn't even bring it. This is you interrupted me the same time.
And I'm not going to, but I'm just asking you a question so we can clarify here.
You just asked me it.
When you say fact, would you acknowledge that there is a difference between natural fact, objective fact, logical fact, etc.?
What makes a fact a fact? Look that up right now.
What makes a fact a fact?
Look it up.
I mean, look it
up.
Look up a fact.
No, because you're the one claiming that there's all different kinds of facts, and this is what you labeled it. Okay, so just look it up.
I'm not saying that there's a difference in the truth claims of the facts. I'm saying
look
that there
it
are
up, please.
Different types of facts, or be different types of things that like facts can go based off of.
Can you just look it up, please?
Objective fact, subjective.
No,
fact,
just look it up because you think there's a difference between a fact and a fact when there's not.
No.
So just look it up.
That there can be different medians or like modes of certain facts. I can say that there's a difference between a logical fact and a relative fact.
But what is a fact? The baseline. What is the baseline? Please look it up.
A fact is anything that can make a truth claim about something.
No, look it up.
Yes.
Look it up.
That's the definition of a fact.
No, look it up, please. Look it up, please.
I just gave you the definition.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I gave you the definition.
Can you just be silent and look it up, please?
No, I gave you the definition. I don't have to.
No, you didn't. You're coming.
Why my definition is wrong?
Because it's coming from your mouth.
Oh, okay. So because it's coming from me, it's wrong. Okay, so now let's see. I'm just gonna pull it up right here. Let's say.
Do you believe in Jesus?
No.
What do you believe in?
I just believe that there is a God. I don't believe in like a personal God or like anything like that. I just believe that there is a being that.
How do you believe in morals?
I believe that morals come from God.
Okay, but how would you know what morals and what's not morals that come from God?
Now that's a great question that I would be willing to get into. Okay, so I believe that there is a standard of which like we have been revealed to us through natural processes and natural order that we can follow, and that gives us the framework that we need to act morally.
And how do you know that's what your God wants?
Well, I mean, like if that's assuming that the God is personal, which I don't believe in.
So what do you believe the God to be?
I wouldn't say that he wants anything, he loves, he feels. I wouldn't necessarily say that because I believe in an impersonal God.
Okay, so what do you feel like this God is?
Just the being, the objective being, the unmoved mover, the first cause of the universe. Okay, so there's nothing you can go off of. I mean, I can argue logic or philosophy. Like that's a good evidence-based
Is that the only thing you can argue off of?
Yeah, because science can't argue for it. It's non-empirical. It would be non-natural. Science can't study it.
Okay. So how are you willing to take science to the full extent until it comes to this God you believe in?
Sure. So we can say that, like, for instance, God is unnatural, and like we can say that science observes anything natural that is within the universe. So something outside of the universe already breaks, like, from science, because science wouldn't be able to study it because it's outside of the universe, right? But because science can't study it, is not necessarily going to entail that it is a falsehood or that it still cannot be proven, because something does not have to be empirically proven to be proven. Something can be logically or philosophically proven.
With that reason itself, then you would not interpret any God.
What?
You wouldn't interpret a God because you wouldn't have any facts to give that to you, or anything.
That's if you go. That's if you like use facts as empirical. I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I said use anything.
Off of empirical facts.
Right, because not only, I mean, you wouldn't have to prove it to somebody else, but you would have to prove to yourself that this is the right way.
I mean, I can give you an argument for the case of God if you would like. Yeah, the person that I'm going to reference here is a Christian, but he uses Aristotelian metaphysics to explain how God works, and I think it's a beaual argument for God.
So I don't take philosophy in this, because that's something that I don't take from when I use God in any type of argument, because it just doesn't go anywhere. It's something
how are you arguing for God if you don't know philosophy?
I said I don't like to argue that. I said I do not like arguing those points because those lead nowhere, because those things only come off of what that person's believes and nothing credible that can ever be proven.
Not necessarily. I would say that, you know, if you use
in this case, yes.
Yeah, because like would you say that the laws of logic are a fact?
In this case, yes.
Okay, so the laws of logic are fact. So if I prove something entirely using the law of logic, would that be factual?
Listen, I'm saying to you, right? I didn't even
answer the question. If I prove something using the laws of logic, which are factual, would that be factual?
I'm not answering that.
Well, why not? It's a very simple question.
Maybe I know that's probably what you can only go off of, because
no. I'm asking you if someone
it's
were
just
to try
so
and prove
erratic
something using the laws of logic, would that be
because
a factual thing?
Listen, I'm not going to put myself in your shoes because I don't believe in what you believe in. So it's unfair for me to come.
It's just philosophy.
No, I know, but it's unfair for me to come in the only way that you perceive it in a way that I can't. Because I don't believe in the same thing you do. So the only reason, no, I cannot. No, I genuinely cannot.
Let me just go ahead and ask you these one by one. Are the laws of logic factual? Yes? Because I think you said
only
that
to
before.
Humans.
Oh, what?
Only to humans.
Wait, hold. The laws of logic are only factual to humans. So wait,
yes.
hold on. Didn't you previously already concede that there are objective laws of logic that are true regardless of human perception? I think we already agreed on
that. That has nothing to do with logic.
What? That's having to do with the laws of logic. What?
No, it does not.
Yes, it does. Like I just said, are the laws of logic objective?
Only to humans.
Okay, so then it would be relative.
To us, yes. But I don't just look at it just out of human perspective.
Can something non-human violate the laws of logic?
It doesn't apply to them, and they don't abide by them.
It doesn't apply to... How does it not apply to them?
Because it's a human-made construct, logic.
I would disagree. I would say that the laws of logic are existent regardless of human perception.
Okay. Give me a kind.
A kind of a what? What do you mean? Like what?
There's different kinds of logic. So give me what kind of logic that you feel like would apply.
The laws of logic, like the law of non-contradiction, or the law of, let's say, like entropy, like that. That's like things like that. Like let's just say the law of non-contradiction. That's a really big law.
Okay, so how would a bear, which is not a human, exist with that kind of logic?
The interpretation of logic does not necessarily follow that law of logic does not exist. So like if
just
I can't
tell me
interpret
how.
something, let's say I can't interpret how the brain works, does that mean the brain doesn't exist?
That's not logic.
No, well, I'm using your argumentation to ask you
no,
something.
I don't want you to ask me anything else because I was the one who asked you a question first.
Yeah, but I'm giving you an analogy so that way like we can both understand the claim better. So like my question is like, if let's say that I don't understand how my brain works, in the same way that a bear doesn't understand how logic works, if there is no logic, would it follow that there is no brain?
It doesn't acknowledge that.
How so?
Because they don't have the brain capacity to.
Okay, but once again, I like I said,
that's not logic, though.
I disagree on the grounds that the non-understanding of something is not going to necessarily entail that thing doesn't exist.
So logic is only a word for humans to better understand things and form it in different ways. That's what logic really is. So it is true to an extent, but logic alone is only applied to humans. Like religion and having jobs and mowing your lawn. Those things are only applied to humans. So if those things would remove, right, then logic would not exist.
Okay, so let's say like I can say that a bear can't logically do this. Would that be true or false?
Do what?
Let's just say I'm just using like an umbrella sentence structure here. Let's say logically a bear cannot do this. Right, so like, would that be true or false?
That's not enough. That's not enough.
No, I'm just saying, like, you could, for this, like me saying this, you could put anything. Like, let's just say this bear can't fly. Like, would that apply to the bear?
No, it wouldn't exist to pair it anyway.
So the bear could fly.
That's not how logic works.
No,
that's not how it works.
If I say that logically a bear can't fly, is that false to the bear?
It wouldn't comprehend nothing like that. It doesn't even comprehend truth or false. It only relies on instinct.
Where does that instinct come from?
Its brain.
How does it know? Like, how does it know what to go off of? And how does it know that it cannot do certain things simultaneously?
Because evolution.
I would argue that the laws of logic would have to flow in somewhere in there.
Okay, to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, so she just contradicted herself. You're saying that this is like grounded in something, but in order to say that that is grounded in something, and in order to say that this comes from something, the laws of logic have to apply to that organism.
To what degree?
So in order to explain any natural process or anything, regardless of if it's human, you have to have laws of logic.
Do numbers exist to a bear?
Numbers exist regardless of if a bear can interpret it or not.
Does it exist to a bear?
Relatively or objectively?
Does it exist to the bear?
I'm clarifying with you, relatively or objectively.
This is the clarification.
I can say numbers exist even if a bear doesn't understand it. That's my
To
answer.
the bear.
To the bear. Well, like I said, once again, if just because a bear doesn't
to the bear,
understand
nothing else. To the bear. I'm not saying that.
Hold on. That's my answer, and I'm sticking with it. You're not changing my answer.
Goodbye.
All right.
So, are you not going to answer his question? Because you did contradict yourself.
He's not here anymore for me to answer.
Yeah,
do you have any questions?
You should concede to the fact that you contradicted yourself.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, why is it that you can't believe God is
Goodbye.
real?
You're not going to speak for someone and then all of a sudden speak. Like, no, he's gone. You raise your hand. Would you like to speak? I can't hear you whatsoever. Nope. Little boy, what are you doing?
Yeah, voice chat. I don't know why he's using that.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I just stay quiet.
Hey,
okay.
I just want to know, are you agnostic or like atheist?
I'm a Christian.
No, why don't you believe God's real?
It's like I'm joking. I'm an atheist.
Atheist, like completely?
100%. It's not my choice, by the way.
This isn't like a question like regarding the debate. Do you believe atheism's dead? There's like a book on it.
I don't even know what that is.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you think atheism's dead? Like, do you think atheism's like still alive? It's still grounded.
It's very much alive.
All right, would you like to argue for atheism, or
no?
Like, I actually just because I want to know, like, why don't you believe in God? What is like your main fundamental like viewpoint on why you don't believe in God?
Because evolution.
Because of evolution, but evolution doesn't contradict God.
It does.
How
so let's go by Christianity, okay? Because you're a Christian.
I'm arguing for a theistic God, not a religious God.
Okay. Well, theism, there's really not to go off of, right? They have nothing to go off of for me to even make up an argument. So.
Well, no. The idea is if we're arguing for a theistic God, then we can't say that Christianity or that evolution contradicts the fact that God could exist.
So does this random theist, do they believe in a religion, or just the concept of God? Okay, so then we would apply it to that. Okay, so evolution.
Arguing as arguing as a theist right now, I would say I believe in evolution, yeah. But God still exists. So if you have an issue with that, we can debate that, but
yeah, I have a huge issue with it because it doesn't correlate.
How so?
Okay, so evolution has to do with everything that exists today, not just the living animals. So that would be Earth and the universe.
Okay.
So in the Bible, it claims that the Earth was made in 6 days.
I'm arguing for a theistic God, not the Christian God. Just
you said it was religious. You said it was religious.
I'm not arguing from a religious viewpoint. That was kind of like my whole claim. I'm just arguing the fact that God exists.
Okay, so again, there's nothing, because they have to pull from somewhere. So they're not.
No. Go ahead.
They have to pull from somewhere. They don't have nothing to pull from, right? That I can bring into existence for an argument. So I will for arguments, I will have to know how to argue, which knowing the subject, right?
So shall I give you something to argue from?
Okay.
Great. So and just saying, like, there's many things to argue from a theistic God. Evolution's not one of them because it's like scientific. Science doesn't contradict the.
Okay, so I don't have to put myself in. But listen, I don't have to put myself. Listen, I don't have to put myself in your shoes to prove something. If it's coming from me and that's what I expect, why wouldn't I have to pull from scientific? Why would that something I wouldn't do?
I have to argue it from, right? It's my job. Great. I believe we can logically deduce the fact that God exists from a theistic standpoint.
Okay, you said there was an argument, so what would that argument be?
Gotcha. Do you believe the universe has an age? Like, do you believe in the Big Bang?
Not 100%.
Do you think that the universe has an age? Do you think the universe can infinitely regress?
I think it has an age.
Gotcha. So if something has an age, that means we know it came into existence. From the first cause argument, we would have to say that if something comes into existence, it needs to have an intricate creator. So everything that is caused, where we can represent a cause for it, it has.
And what would you think that creator would be?
Yeah, so we need to have something that is caused that we can represent as being caused, which is the universe. The thing that wouldn't be caused would be God or the theistic.
And so there's not an example you can pull that has even existed. There's not a single example.
Oh no, we don't have to give you examples. We just have to logically deduce that there's a creator for something. Like we can logically deduce the fact that the universe
statement's true, but you're claiming that the first mover has to be unmoved, right?
Yeah, that's kind of and the reason why we say that the first mover has to be unmoved is because you can't have infinite regression. Infinite regression is impossible to exist logically. I can explain it if you want.
Okay, so nothing has ever been infinite before. But go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, so when we say infinite regression, we mean on a finite timeline, we can't have something that goes back to infinity. So if we're gonna say that every creator, because I mean, people will say I can argue for the fact that the universe has a cause. So who created the person who created the universe? But then you would have to say that person has a creator and that person has a creator, and then you have to go back infinitely for there to be a creator.
But if you can't fathom that, why would you think it wouldn't be true if you can't fathom that?
Well, no, it's not that we can't fathom that. It's and this is what I'm trying to explain now, is that you can't logically have infinite regression. And the reason why we say we can't logically have infinite regression, because if we say that the point we're at right now exists, if this point truly exists, but there is a point infinitely behind us, so infinitely into the past, we will never ever be able to reach an actual point. Because I'm going to say that we need to be able to reach infinitely to the future. Because if we say infinite regression exists, that means to the future infinitely exists. That means we'll never actually be able to reach that infinite point.
Just because something can go back and back and back, even though that wouldn't be the same thing, that doesn't mean that thing is the time overall is infinite, because nothing's infinite. Nothing.
I agree.
So just because something can go back and back and back and back, that doesn't mean everything that can go back is all of a sudden an infinite thing. That's not what it is.
I agree. Yep.
I agree. That has nothing to do with infinite.
No. You understand my viewpoint on why I'm kind of arguing God from that point. Because I'm saying, nothing's infinite. We can't go back to infinity. So it means there needs to be a beginning. And in this beginning, the very first thing needs to be uncreated or uncaused. And this uncreated or uncaused thing, well, because that's kind of what it means to go back to infinity. Because if something's going to come into existence, it needs to be caused by something else.
But when I claim it cannot be infinite, right? Because that's what you're claiming. You're claiming that if God is not real, then it would have to be infinite. And I'm saying, no, it is not. Because God is not real to me. So nothing is infinite.
Yeah. So what do you think the first thing ever was?
Something I can't fathom?
Something you can't, so you're just holding to mystery, to the fact that you don't know, so you won't
Yeah, just because I don't know, that doesn't mean the answer is God, by the way.
So even if you can logically deduce something, just because you don't know the answer to something, you're just gonna say I'm just gonna just say it doesn't exist.
No, that's not true.
You're just gonna hold, because it's kind of like holding the mystery essentially, where you're I don't know.
Just because I don't claim. Just because just because I don't know, that doesn't mean I'm not going to rule out answers. Because if I don't know, then I could say that my cat made the universe. I could say I made the universe, going off of that premise. Right? Even though there's nothing.
Deduce that those things haven't happened.
Just like God.
No, that's what I'm trying to logically deduce. But I want to say, like, you don't believe it's God. Like, what do you don't know what it is? Why do you say, like, God wasn't the person who
Because I don't think that thing has ever existed. I think it's a human-made construct. So when I think the whole thing is human-made for control, I wouldn't remove, like, the religious thing and just think that thing solely exists off of any physiological thing, because I think the whole thing doesn't exist because the whole thing was made for one purpose, and it wasn't because people generally believe that this thing existed, in my view. So I would deduce everything, and I would rule out the decision because I know that it wasn't made for the reasons that you think it was. It was made for something different.
So I just, like, what is your best explanation? Because kind of what I'm essentially arguing is that we know that space began, we know that time began, we know that matter began, we know that energy began. So if all things began, that means there was a time where these things weren't.
It doesn't. No, you have nothing to claim that to. See, I've never claimed something like that.
That's by definition what that means. If we believe that, like if you give birth to a child, that child had a beginning. Before you gave birth to that child, there was no, like, child. Like, that's kind of like when something begins, that means before it, there was nothing, if that makes any sense. Like that, it just wasn't. So if we believe that time began, we mean that we believe that before time began, there was no time. If space began, we believe that before space began, there was no space. You know, when matter began, before matter,
so
no matter.
If you look up, right, what happened. Because God doesn't tell you nothing about any God, even non-religious, doesn't tell you nothing about the universe. Nothing. So
What do you mean? Like,
they don't let you know anything about the universe outside of Earth. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. So the only thing that you know is coming from science, which is the Big Bang. Firstly.
Yeah, and if I'm arguing
so
for
that would be the evidence.
I don't have an issue with that.
So that would be the only thing to classify what happened before. Nothing else. Because the only thing that got you to that point of where the Big Bang is from science, not God. So the only thing that will venture on to possibly knowing would be that thing that got you there in the beginning, which would be science. So science is what I go off of on anything outside of this earth, or anything in general, if it has to do with anything. So there's no answer to that as of now, or probably ever, because that question to that answer is a very big question that cannot be easily answered. Do you know that, right?
Hey, Midnight, so I have a question then.
You know that, right?
In logic?
You know that, right?
In logic?
You know that, right?
No, I don't agree. Do you believe in logic?
Wait, you don't agree?
No, like, of course science is huge. We use science to deduce a lot of things, but if you're saying that we can only rely on science, then you're making, that's a self-refuting claim.
No, I'm saying in this instance.
No, in this instance, still even no, because do you believe logic
But hold on,
real?
can you answer my question, though? You didn't answer it right.
Recite your question one more time, just so I can make sure I'm understanding.
The question that you claim to be God, and you claim that since y'all don't have an answer, which would be the scientific way, that it would have to be God. That's what you're claiming. Okay?
No.
So this question is a very big question that cannot be answered. I don't think that question can ever be answered because how big the question is of what started prior to the Big Bang. Okay? So do you agree with that's a big question?
Well, I just believe that you're limiting the way that we answer this question only to science. Now, I wouldn't say that science is the only way to answer that question, which is kind of the claim you're making.
That's a big question.
I believe that the way that we answer that question is through logic. That's how we answer that question.
I don't care how you feel like it needs to be answered. The question is big, right?
I don't think it's that hard to deduce that God exists. I don't think it's that big of a question.
Whether you feel like it was God or not, that question of what happened prior to the Big Bang is a big question.
Does a big question mean we can't answer it with forms of evidence? We have evidence for it.
It doesn't matter if it can be answered or not. It is a big question.
So when you because I think when
you don't think so
starts is a big question.
You don't
right?
think so?
But we can still deduce when consciousness starts. Just because a question is big doesn't mean we can't answer the question.
I just said no matter the answer, you still think no. It is a big question.
Yeah, of course, it's a big question.
Okay, but okay.
It's a very big question whether or not God existed.
No, I'm not talking about that. See, this is exactly
you're talking about
why.
before the Big Bang. You're talking about before the Big Bang. Is that a big question?
I don't know. Is that what I asked you 14 times?
Yeah, and I believe that's a very big question. It's a huge question. Absolutely.
So put yourself in my shoes for a second. Okay?
Yeah.
This question is extremely large. Okay? Because not only is the universe very large, but you have to think of this very large universe outside of that. Outside and before. Okay? And if we can't even determine a lot of stuff that's already here, why do you think that question can ever be answered or ever be to God? For one.
Because it has been. Because it has been. You're limiting it to just scientific evidence. We have logical evidence that we can use to deduce the fact that God exists. We can logically prove the existence of God. That's how we've always proved the existence of God. Because I can't empirically prove the existence of God. I can't scientifically prove the existence of God. But another reliable form of evidence we have is logic. Therefore, we use logic to prove the existence of God. How God created everything, we don't use logic to prove. But to prove the fact that he existed, we use logic.
I'm telling you, okay, so that's what you use, but that is not enough.
Why not?
Because that cannot be proven in any other way besides one. You got one way. And that's how I bring it to my fact argument. When something's a fact, it doesn't matter how many ways it can be determined. If it even is in multiple ways, it will still have the same baseline because it's a fact. So if you got one way only to explain one thing that's very complicated, it's not the right way. It's not a fact.
So Midnight, the only way that we can explain that photosynthesis exists is through science. So does that mean that photosynthesis isn't real?
Okay, what is science?
Just answer like that basic question. The only way
science
we can prove
isn't one.
Photosynthesis. No, the only way we can prove photosynthesis exists.
You don't know what science is?
I know what it is. Okay, I'm asking if he knows.
Okay. Oh, for sure.
Okay, so science is a process, and it doesn't form in one way only.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're claiming that science is just as one way, because that's what you just claimed.
So what you're saying is that science has multiple lines of reasoning within the field of science.
No,
right?
It's no multiple reasonings. There's multiple ways to get to one reasoning.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. But that's like the same thing with logic. We don't just give you one argument for the existence of God. We give you multiple lines of reasoning to all that point to one central topic. So I'll give you like this line of reasoning, this line of reasoning, this line of reasoning, all within the field of logic that point to the fact that we believe God exists.
So do you think there's some scientific points that have been proven physiologically?
What do you mean, like oh my goodness. Physiologically? Like, do we have scientific points that kind of correspond that way?
Has there been any physiological thing that has been compatible with science?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So why does it stop here?
What do you mean?
With God.
What do you mean, why does it stop with God?
It can be compatible with each other, obviously. But it stops here, right? There's not scientific any type of evidence that can prove it. And there's no physiological thing that can, well, there is to you. Not to me, though.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, why does it stop here? If it can be competitive, right? Why would it stop here? Why?
Wait, so no, I don't think it does stop there. I believe the only way that we can deduce the fact that God exists is logically. The same way I believe the only way we can deduce that photosynthesis exists is scientifically. So if you only have one way to prove something, you're going to
What
use
about let
that
there
one
be
way
light?
to the fullest of their extent.
What about let
What do
there
you
be
mean?
light?
Again, hey, I'm arguing from for a theistic God. Remember, not a Christian God. Just the fact that God exists.
Yeah, but nobody just claims that and then just doesn't go off of anything.
That's the entire definition of an agnostic theist.
Okay, that has nothing to do
It's
with
like
Gnostic.
Agnostic? Do you know what an agnostic
Oh,
theist is?
agnostic.
Oh, yeah, agnostic, not Gnostic. I know what you're saying.
Okay. I don't want to talk about agnostic. They're really ridiculous. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Go ahead and switch me with JB. JB thinks he
Yeah.
knows something good.
I'm not JB, but like, you know,
Who? Yeah.
I can be here.
Can you be here?
Yeah, I can. I need to be my.
You're not even raising your hand.
I did raise my hand.
I'm talking about that JB. Oh, he's not even here. Okay.
Oh, he left. No.
Can you get that disgusting book out of your hands?
Okay. Would you? Let me see. Would you think it's disgusting if I pull out the Quran or the?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm an atheist.
Why are you so Islamophobic?
Because they're disgusting.
Wow, that's racist.
How am I hating on your race?
I never said I was, I never said I was Muslim or Arab. A lot of Muslims
You can
Arab,
be a Christian Arab.
Latino, so I'm still brown skinned, by the way.
Oh my god. Okay, so what do you have to say?
Huh?
Actually, let me give an argument, because I'm so sick of going into y'all arguments. Don't make no sense. Absolutely zero. So let's move on to my argument.
Never really made.
Okay. That's why I'm doing it today. That's why I'm doing it today. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Okay, to get where your head is at. Baby, can you mute? That's why I muted you.
Oh.
Okay. Let's say you remove all the knowledge you know about George Washington.
Alright.
Okay? And let's say you traveled 300 years ago and George Washington was standing in front of you. Would you think he's real or no?
I would think the person standing in front of me is real, but I just don't know his name.
Okay, let's say that you remove all the knowledge you know about Jesus.
Alright.
And he was standing in front of you. Would you think he would be real?
He's a real person, but I wouldn't know his name if I don't know who he is. Like, I would see him, I just don't know what his name is.
Let's say you remove everything you know about God, and his presence is in front of you. Would you think he exists?
Well, I see someone's presence in front of me, but I don't know what it is.
It's not a person.
I said presence. You just said his presence. If you're telling me I could see his presence, then I would see some presence, but I wouldn't know what it is. Would I know what it is if you told me, like, you
okay, let's move on. All right, let's move on, all right?
Wait. So what were you trying to get at?
I'm moving on. Let me move on. No, I would say the conclusion at the end, okay?
All right.
The story ends at the end, not in the beginning, okay?
All right.
So let's say you remove all the knowledge you know about the sun.
All right.
Would you still think it existed if, you saw it outside?
But if I saw it outside, I just
Just
don't know
answer
what
the
it
question.
Is. If I saw
just
it
say
outside,
yes,
I wouldn't know what it is.
yes, or no, okay?
It's not a yes or no question. You just told me I could see. You told me that
just say yes or no. You don't have to explain it to me.
You removed all the
knowledge. You don't
have
to explain it to me. You don't have to explain it.
I went outside and I see a. You know where I go? If I were to go outside with all the knowledge of the sun out of my head, I would just see a big flaming ball of fire in the sky, and I would be confused as to what it is.
It's not fire. Okay. But you might think it's fire, though, because you have no knowledge.
It's fire because you removed all the knowledge of the sun on my head.
Okay, let's say you're in the middle of the ocean with a boat, of course, and you see this creature you never saw before, right?
All right.
So you have the knowledge about the sea, but you don't know what this creature is. Would you still think it exists?
You just said that I saw the creature. I would. Think
I know. Just say yes or no.
I would say yeah because I saw it. I saw it. So yes, it exists.
Okay. So let's say that you're looking at a black hole, but you can never see a black hole because you cannot see it in space. But you can observe it through what it's sucking up. But you have no knowledge about it. What would you think it is?
I would try to make like whatever thing in my mind. If I think it's like, if I could observe it, I would be confused as to why there's a hole in the universe.
You can't see it.
You just said I could observe it, though.
Yeah.
So if I can observe it, that means I can see it.
You can't see it in itself. You can only observe what it's doing.
I can. Okay, there's the clarification. I can observe what it's doing. So I can't see this black hole. All right, but I am observing something is happening. So I would have to come to the conclusion that something is causing some things to move into to have an effect on them.
Okay, and one last question before I get two more, but this is the last one, okay?
All right.
So let's say that book in your hands, you don't have any knowledge about the Bible, and you see it. Would you still think it exists?
All right, you're telling me, hypothetically, if I didn't know, okay, just getting a clarification, hypothetically, if I saw this book and I didn't know what the Bible was beforehand, all right, would it exist? Well, I'm seeing the Bible. The Bible exists, does it not? Because I see it in front of me. I see something called the Holy Bible, so it exists.
Okay. And let's say you don't see anything, right?
All right.
But you don't see anything, but you know, right, that it's in space. Would you still think it's there?
Well, I know something's there, but I don't see it.
Right. You don't have anything to back this up. But you just know that there's something in space. Would you believe in it?
I would have faith. If I had faith, if something were to give me faith that it existed, I would believe in it.
Okay, but it has never came down and did that, right? Like at all. You can't observe it.
That's what faith is. It doesn't.
I know, but I know. Faith, you would have to have some type of belief, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so which would come in evidence.
If that random thing in space existed, I would believe. If you gave me enough faith.
Okay, what if something that you have no idea about that can never reach the universe?
What is something?
Oh my goodness, bless you.
That's not me, it's someone else.
I know. So, you're not going to say bless you. Bless you, Mom.
That's my brother, and he's like in the other room.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So let's say that you have no idea about this thing, right? You have no idea, even though I'm mentioning it still. You have no idea because it has never reached you. It's never. Yeah. It never came down like an alien or talked to you or nothing like that. And you have no knowledge upon it. Would you think it exists?
If I have no knowledge upon it, and I don't know anything, so I don't know anything. I wouldn't know it exists. I wouldn't know if it existed or not.
You wouldn't even fathom, right?
I probably wouldn't even think about it.
No, you definitely wouldn't think about it.
Have that idea in the
you
first
definitely
place.
Wouldn't think about it. Because there's plenty of things that exist, but you have no idea. right?
Yeah, there are the what is it? The absence of evidence does not mean the evidence of absence.
Yeah, it just means you don't know, so you wouldn't form something for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say now to the conclusion.
All right.
Let's say you remove every religious book. So that would be the Bible, the Quran, the blah blah blah. The titties. Oh no, that's a book. No, that's a book. That's a book. Sorry.
Right.
Okay. So you remove all religious. I said no. No. Fuck. It's spelled like this. I'm pretty sure it's spelled like NOUNTITTES. So it would be titties. Anyways. Well, do you know what I was gonna say? All the religious texts. See, I should have fucking never mentioned that, bro. All the religious texts gone. Would you still believe in God? Because God cannot reach you because he's not that, and how can he perform miracles on people that, because he doesn't do that already. Yeah. Okay. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. The titties, bro. Fucking hell. I think I left it up there. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Why would I get banned? Alright, hopefully BB will keep me up there.